All right, everybody. We are live for part 2 of day 2 of the People's Reset 2025. We are going to continue our conversations all about permaculture and food independence. I hope you guys are all doing well at home. If you got some lunch and got a little bit of rest and are joining us back live now, we are slowly trickling back into the room after everybody has gone to some workshops. Who went to a workshop? Anybody hanging out in the sun, get some workshops? Awesome. I saw some salsa dancing going on. I saw some discussions about community organizing, some meditations. It's so awesome to see. I'm always sad that I basically have no time to do any of them, but I'm glad to see you guys enjoying yourselves. So thanks for being out there. A couple of reminders. I want to let you guys know tonight, again, at this in this room, 6 to 8 p.m., we will have Eco Village Networking. This is going to be a networking session specifically for those who are looking to join communities, have land, trying to build community, anything in that sort of area. You want to be here tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. That's going to be run by our sponsors, Prosperous Legacy Advisor Bradley and his team. They're going to come out here and get you guys all excited about living in community. And we have 2 networking sessions today. What's about to happen right now, we're going to have a panel with a bunch of our speakers who came up earlier. We're going to talk about permaculture in Mexico. And then we're going to hear from Lydia and Arturo, who do geophilia. Is anybody familiar with geophilia? Have you seen their work before or heard them here before? If not, you guys are in for an amazing treat. And also we have Yoshi and Paula, who are coming here from Ecuador, who are going to be doing another really powerful presentation. And then at the end of today, from 4:10 to 5, we're going to have networking specifically about permaculture. So 2 networking sessions, one from 4:10 to 5 p.m. about permaculture in this room, and then from 6 to 8, more specifically about living in community, eco-villages, intentional communities, things of that sort. So lots more to get into. And beyond that, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a concert happening at a different venue tonight. There's a meetup with one of our other sponsors, Logos, really close by here. So for those who are looking for something to do tonight, I think there's plenty to get into, and I will try to see you all there. And I think I heard my other half is performing tonight at the show. So if you want to hear me play my music, come check that out. And I just want to make an appeal once again to those of you who are at home. I want to let you know all of the talks from yesterday, the entire presentation, part 1 and part 2, are already posted on our Odyssey channel. You can go to thegreaterreset.org, thepeoplesreset.org, and you can click on the Odyssey, scroll down, you'll see all of our social media links. Go to our English Odyssey channel and you can watch yesterday in its entirety. In the coming months, we'll be adding the individual talks, but right now you can already listen to the entire day 1 for free, and you can already listen to part 1 of today for free, available on the Greater Reset Odyssey channel. So if you are at home and you're enjoying this content, and if you're enjoying the solutions you're hearing, we want to invite you guys to support our movement. Go to thegreaterreset.org/donate. And at this point, we've had about 5,000 to 10,000 people checking in and out of the stream over the last couple of days. And if each of you out there, if you enjoy what we're doing or you want to be here next year, we invite you to support by donating at least $25. And if everybody out there who's watching did that, this event will continue to be a success for many years to come. So we really do appreciate everybody who has donated already, everybody who's attending in person, because this is a labor of love. And I'm guessing you guys want to come back next year, right? Would you like to do this again next year? I'll be real with you. There's a few points throughout the year where Miriam and I are like, we're not doing this again. We're never doing this again. All the stress, all the, oh my God, dealing with this and this. And let me just digress for a moment. I love our beautiful community, and our community needs to work on communication. There's so many of you have so many gifts to offer. Just so you know, we start scouting for speakers 6 months in advance. So if you email me 5 days before the event and tell me how amazing you are and asking for a slot on the stage, I'm probably not going to respond. Not out of rudeness, but just because we do put a lot of time and energy into this. If you want to be on this stage, if you want to host a workshop, please keep up with our email list. Follow us on the website. Respect our guidelines and our deadlines so that we can continue to have a successful event. Because really, if we're trying to build a better world, a big part of that is mutual respect, communication, understanding each other, right? It goes both ways. So we just ask that you guys share your beautiful gifts with us and work with us so we can continue to have a very successful event. And we appreciate all of you. All right, so without further ado, let me invite up our guests, Jorge, Hector, and Galia to the stage. Come join us up there. Was there supposed to, Kitsia. If Kitsia's around, she's supposed to be up here as well. Come on up, guys and lady. Victor, you want to join? Okay, you want to come? Awesome. Kitsia's partner, Victor's going to make some noise for our lovely speakers if you enjoyed their presentations earlier. All right. So, and this is going to be interactive. I know a lot of you did have questions earlier, so we will be going to some questions in the audience. Let me go. I'm going to pass this mic back to you guys, team, so we can get questions whenever you got a second. And I'll just start us off with an easy one, with a simple one. We heard a little bit from each of you about your stories, but maybe we can go into just a couple more minutes of detail about what started you on your journey. What was the beginning of your journey into permaculture, into ecology, sustainability, however you define that? You know, what was the beginning of your making your way to the path that you're currently on now?
Gracias. When I turned 18, there was a tree in front of my house, a maple tree. And I remember that one day, it's been there all my life. It's huge, like 2 stories high. And that atom, I opened the door and it was nighttime and there was a light from the street hitting it. And the golden colors drew my attention. And I remember when I opened the door, it just impacted me to see the tree. And I walked straight to it, closed the door, walked straight to it. And as I'm walking to it, I see all these leaves on the ground. And I picked one up in admiration, which I had never done before. And when I saw that, it hit me like this thing has a spinal cord, it has this rib cage. And then I put my other hand next to it, and I was like, it has like almost identical lines as my hand. And I was like, we are one. So I hugged the tree. and that's pretty much what led me to go through this path of admiration towards nature and walking through streets, then just like looking at trees like, wow, look, I'm surrounded by trees, which I had not considered too much till then.
Just as a heads up, this panel will be in Spanglish, so keep up.
Bueno, es que no escuché la pregunta al principio, pero ¿cuál era la pregunta?
¿Qué es lo que te encaminó al camino de la permacultura o tu despertar en ese proceso?
Ok. Bien, ok, bien. Bueno, con los que estuvieron a lo mejor en la mañana, escucharon un poco al respecto de que yo nací en el seno de una familia que son, ¿cómo le dicen ahora? Ambientalistas o ecologistas. Y yo siempre pues nací con esa enseñanza. Y luego, como mi papá diseñaba y fabricaba maquinaria para procesar alimentos, pues con esas dos vertientes yo nací. Y cuando en una charla que se hablaba acerca de la basura, yo me puse a pensar y me hirvió la sangre en el pensar que cómo era posible que no había nadie en el mundo que hubiera inventado una manera de aprovechar los residuos orgánicos, los residuos de los alimentos. Y pues como que todo el mundo piensa sobre esas cosas a lo mejor alguna vez, pero solamente llega un momento en el cual a uno le hierve la sangre, que llegas a ese punto en el cual dices, pues algo se tiene que hacer. Y un día en la noche, sobresaltado, días después, fue que me desperté y pensé en una manera de cómo dar aprovechamiento a los residuos. Y eso fue en el 2009 y pues yo empecé en este camino de investigar y de hacer pruebas y encontré la manera correcta de cómo aprovechar los residuos y cómo estos residuos orgánicos, al reintegrarlos al suelo, podían darle nuevamente vida al suelo, a la biodiversidad y por ende a las plantas, ¿no? Y eso fue lo que me llevó. Yo me dedicaba a otra cosa completamente diferente. Yo tenía un despacho de seguros y no tenía nada que ver con esto. Y cuando descubrí todo ello, pues llegó un momento en el cual dejé todo y solo me puse a hacer esto. Nada más.
I don't know if I should speak in English or Spanish. Well, when people ask me what I do, I like to say that I help people to eat like humans again. And what, like with many people, what got me started with this was my own health. I struggled with my health when my first child was born because I had been working for a publishing company, like really long hours and without taking care of myself, eating from the vending machine. We were living in Miami at the time, and when I had my first son, I was struggling with my thyroid. I was exhausted, depleted, malnourished. And of course, I needed to get better for me and for my son. And I started learning a lot about health. And that immediately took me to my diet and sourcing good food immediately took me to farming and good practices in farming. And so when I learned about regenerative agriculture and livestock, I was completely enamored of all the concept of the farmers. I admire their work. I I cry when I think about them. And so right now what I do is there's a lot of farmers doing great work, working a lot for our land, and they don't have time. They work so much. They don't have time to have social networking. They don't have time to do the business, to promote themselves. And on the other hand, there's hundreds of families that are trying to eat better, get healthier, and help the planet. And I'm the link. I connect families because what I do is I advise families on where to source good food and what to eat, what not to eat. And I became the link with these farmers that are doing amazing work and the people that are looking to buy from them and benefit not only themselves, but the planet. And so this is what I do.
Uno y uno, ahora en español. Para mí comienza cuando era chico, yo era el encargado del jardín en mi casa, entonces, pues trabajar con las plantas, yo creo, el poner las manos y los pies en la tierra automáticamente te hace sentir que es un trabajo que tiene que ser toda la vida y cuando comes algo que tú siembras, pues jamás lo vas a poder conseguir igual en el supermercado o en quizás de otra persona, pero yo vivía en la suburbia, así es que no, tenía que ser el supermercado o lo que yo estaba produciendo. Y siempre me gustó cocinar y hay un personaje muy interesante en mi caso, un mentor que además era acupunturista y me daba clases de artes marciales, Alfonso Ricard, y él nos hacía acampar y nos hacía meditar y etcétera. Entonces eso básicamente me hizo conocer y vivir este mundo alternativo que se ha convertido en permacultura, en agricultura orgánica, en agricultura regenerativa, biodinámica, y está rodeado de personas como ustedes.
All right. So I have one more question, and then we'll pass it out here if there's any questions from the audience. The other one, so you shared your stories now, how you guys got started. What would be your advice if you had to give one piece of advice? I know that's difficult, but just a simple first step for everybody here who might be listening and hasn't taken that first step yet. They're obviously interested in permaculture if they're here today. They're interested in healthy food. What's a first step you might offer for somebody who's at the beginning of their journey?
The first step would be noticing yourself, paying attention to yourself. Because once you start paying attention to yourself, then you realize you're connected with everything else. Then you start paying attention to everything else and the way that those things are working. And you will easily become aware that things seem and appear that they're not in our favor. And therefore, you have to make your own path. And once you start walking that path, then you start running into beautiful people that would guide you, that have already advanced in very many paths and got many mentors. So my advice would be to pay attention and don't take your time for granted. What you put into your body is just as important as, and that's in every aspect, what you listen to, what you eat, and the environment that we surround ourselves with. So pay attention. That would be my best advice, because the answer's out there and perhaps already in your house, and you just need to see it. Sometimes everything's already there and your friends or family are already tapped in. So just submerge yourself and seek guidance and leave the circles that don't make you flourish and go towards the circles where you know that you can bloom.
Bueno, pues yo les podría pedir que hagan un simple cambio de hábito en casa y que lo lleven a todos lados que puedan, y que es el hábito simple de poner en un lugar los residuos orgánicos y en otro lugar los residuos inorgánicos. Porque cuando tú haces esa separación, estás evitando el generar basura. Y ya otros se encargarán de darle aprovechamiento y valor a esos residuos, tanto los orgánicos como los inorgánicos. Y yo creo que eso es algo que todo mundo puede hacer, es muy simple de hacer, y de todos depende que se haga un cambio real, porque en la naturaleza no hay basura, la basura la creamos nosotros. Y es evidente que nunca se van a dejar de generar residuos, pero si nosotros, en lugar de generar basura, generamos residuos, entonces habrá la manera de aprovecharlos y de que no se genere basura y la contaminación terrible que hay en todos lados.
If it's just one thing, I would say get closer to the origin of your food. Make sure you know where your food comes from. Forget about dogmas and scientific studies, and just go visit your farmer. Try to get to know the local people that are making the food that you eat. Where does it come from? What practices is this? Are they using practices that are better for the environment? Is the production of that food making the world a better place, or is it damaging our environment? And also read labels, ask about ingredients, inquire more. People are mindlessly eating 3 meals a day, or maybe 5 or more, without knowing where it came from and what it's made of. And so just inquire more about what we eat.
Yo lo que diría son lo que hacen los japoneses y que lo hacen como terapia, que son baños de naturaleza, ¿no? Si nos acercamos frecuentemente a la naturaleza, vamos a sentir ese bienestar y todo lo demás se da naturalmente, porque aprendemos a respetarla y pues lo demás no lo controlamos y seguramente vamos a querer hacer las cosas de mejor manera. Es nada más una cuestión de resonancia al aproximarnos a la naturaleza.
All right, so we're going to go to questions from the audience. I want to mention one thing real quick because I know there was a discussion earlier on seed banks. We actually have a very beautiful local seed bank here in Morelia. It's also a community garden, and on Saturdays, every other Saturday, they have a organic local market, big signs, no Monsanto, no pesticides, etc. It's called La Ruta Natural. If you look it up, they have a Facebook page. They always look for volunteers. It's a small little garden, but they have a beautiful seed bank of all the foods that grow here in Morelia that they save, and then they do sell to the community. Also, this weekend on Saturday, there's another organic market, Mercado Orgánico in Altozano, up by the mall on the top of the hill. That's another place where a lot of locals who are concerned about this will gather. So I just wanted to share that. We had a question over here. And just so everybody knows, we're using the mic so the folks at home can hear you guys as well.
My name is David. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and I lived in Vancouver 33 years. 2 questions for 2 of you. Hector, you speak English? It's being translated, right?
No, inglés no.
La pregunta en español. Yo vivo en Puerto Vallarta con mi esposa ahora. Hace 2 años nos regresamos a vivir a México. La pregunta es, separamos la basura, sí, en orgánica, se la llevan, la revuelven toda, y se la llevan en el camión toda revuelta, en toda la ciudad. Y en el basurero, ahí está la gente, los pepenadores, ya sabemos de la Ciudad de México, Galia, me imagino que tú eres de ahí, cómo funciona el asunto. ¿Qué se puede hacer ahí? Y para Galia, la pregunta es, en mi tiempo limitado de activismo, de voluntarismo, hay 2 temas en mi vida muy importantes, la comida sana y la salud con doctores alternativos y esto. En eso estoy muy enfocado con mi gente, con mis grupos en Vallarta. Y quería preguntarte, dijiste que eres un link entre las granjas orgánicas y la necesidad. Me gustaría mucho saber cómo conectar contigo y cómo funciona ese link.
Primero yo. So I'm going to answer in Spanish. Yo represento en México, soy la chapter leader de una fundación que es la Fundación Weston A. Price. Esta fundación, justamente su lema es que se dedica a la comida, la salud, dicen, y the healing arts, ¿no? Las artes de la sanación. Y es una fundación activista que tiene personas en muchas partes del mundo y en casi todas las ciudades grandes de Estados Unidos. Y nuestra labor justamente es mantener una lista, le llamamos nuestra resource list, que, en donde tenemos los productos locales que están generados con las buenas prácticas, también practitioners de diferentes artes de sanación, ¿no? O sea, homeópatas, quiroprácticos, médicos funcionales, etcétera. Tiendas en donde conseguir este tipo de productos. Y cada chapter leader de la Fundación Weston A. Price en su ciudad del mundo es como un requerimiento que tengamos esta lista y que además se comparta con cualquier persona, sean miembros o no de la fundación. Esta fundación se mantiene a base de membresías y es una membresía anual que te da también derecho a recibir una publicación bimensual con muchos temas de todo nuestro interés y que también es una fundación que hace mucho research, está siempre haciendo investigación, pagando estudios para saber, por ejemplo, los beneficios reales del cod liver oil o qué sucede cuando remojamos los frijoles, cuál es realmente la química que sucede en ese proceso del remojo, etcétera. Entonces, pues para todos aquí que nos están viendo, busquen en la página de la Weston A. Price, es westonaprice.org, y ahí hay una lista de chapter leaders. Y ahí pueden ver si en su ciudad hay un chapter leader y contactarlo, vienen los correos. Y si en su ciudad no hay un chapter leader, los invitamos a que ustedes se conviertan en el chapter leader de su ciudad.
Bien, eso es muy bueno. Convertirse en líderes es muy bueno. Respondiendo a la pregunta, lo que uno ve es lo que aparenta ser, pero la realidad es muy diferente. En el camión recolector, el único que tiene sueldo es el chofer del camión recolector. Todos los demás que van en el camión no tienen sueldo. Ellos viven de la pepena inicial que va en el camión. Entonces, lo que ellos hacen es romper las bolsas para extraer de ahí lo que pueden rescatar, botellas de PET, latas, metales, etcétera. Eso que pueden ellos rescatar, lo separan ahí en el camión. Uno lo que piensa que está sucediendo es que la revuelven. No le están revolviendo. Lo que hacen es romper las bolsas para extraer de ahí esos materiales inorgánicos que son de fácil venta. Y si tú te das cuenta en el camión, vas a ver colgadas costales grandes donde ahí van acumulando justamente todo eso, el PET, la lata, el cartón, etcétera. Y justamente antes de llegar al vertedero, hay quienes les compran todo eso que ya lo separaron. Entonces, el tema es que como los gobiernos no los obligamos a que hagan su responsabilidad, imagínate qué pasaría si todos le entregamos al camión recolector de manera separada el orgánico. Ellos van a tener que hacer algo, porque ya se lo estamos entregando separado. Ya tendrán que hacer algo. Pero como no sucede eso, a los gobiernos no les interesa hacer un tratamiento a los residuos orgánicos. En todos los países, o por lo menos en México, Hay leyes muy puntuales que hacer con los residuos, pero nadie las obedece ni las lleva a cabo. Pero si nosotros los ciudadanos obligamos a los gobiernos a través de nuestros hábitos, cambiar nuestros hábitos y entregarles residuos orgánicos por un lado, son más de la mitad de los residuos. Ahora, por otro lado, todos los que pepenan estarían fascinados porque les entregamos residuo inorgánico limpio y separado, que va a ser posible reciclar un 30% más de lo que actualmente hoy se hace. Lo que pasa que, como dijo él, no somos atentos a lo que pasa. No somos observadores, no nos detenemos a ver qué está pasando. Y ese es el grave problema. Y hace rato platicaba con una señora. O sea, no importa qué sucede con los demás. Si tú haces el cambio de hábito, vas a contagiar a otros. Yo pienso que es por ahí.
Gracias. Do we have any questions on this side of the room? Make some noise for our speakers, guys. They're giving us lots of knowledge here. Any other questions over here? In general, raise your hand if you have a question. We got a microphone right here. Back here. Okay. I think she had one. You have one back there? Okay. All right. Who's going to get started on permaculture after this week? Anybody going to take their first steps and come back next year and share about all the amazing things you've done? All right, gracias.
No es pregunta, solamente como agregando un poquito a esta pregunta de los residuos y así. Yo contraté un servicio aquí en Morelia que se llama Hagamos Composta, me parece que está en muchos lados de México, y recolectan la composta y la poposta y la trabajan y te regresan el abono. Si les pides como pues abonito para tus plantas, te regresan ese abonito y pues está bien padre. Y yo la verdad dejé de hacer basura desde hace mucho, justo lo que barro de pelitos de mis perros y así, pues se va también ahí en la poposta y pues ya no tengo que tirar basurita y está bien padre ese programa. Creo que ya hay más, o sea, ha habido más como organizaciones que han como habilitado este tipo de servicios para nosotros, entonces también igual podemos buscar un poquito de eso. Nada más.
Any other questions? Thank you for that. Anybody else have questions for our esteemed panel here of amazing experts? If not, I'll throw one out. Okay. Well, thoughts on compost? Hector obviously works a lot with compost. Anybody else have experience with compost? What are your thoughts on human manure? Using human poo as compost, whether to grow food in or just for, ornamentals. You can pass it around who wants.
Bueno, in that sense, we have many compost toilets around the property. And the compost toilets that we found more practical are just digging a pretty good sized hole on the ground and making a comfortable seat. And what we do is just, once that hole is full, then we dig something else next to that. And there's so many trees that the trees are going to benefit off of it. We, for the most part, don't do it so close to fruit trees because a lot of our visitors, we don't know what they're eating. I mean, if it's just a family compost, then it's safer for us. But in that sense, we don't keep it as close to the food that we produce.
Bueno, como comenté en la mañana, o sea, la naturaleza no te pide que entregues algo composteado a la tierra. La naturaleza, dentro de la tierra, compostea toda la materia orgánica. Lo que pasa que nos han hecho creer que los residuos de los animales, de los seres humanos o propiamente de la materia orgánica de un vegetal, se tiene que compostear, pero eso realmente no es así. Si tú pones cualquier tipo de residuo, ya sea excreta de animales o de nosotros o de lo que sea, dentro de la tierra y lo cubres con la tierra, los microorganismos que ya la materia orgánica trae en sí mismo y los que hay dentro de la tierra se van a encargar de integrar todo eso a la tierra nuevamente. Lo que pasa es que no somos conscientes ni sabemos de lo que realmente es. Pero para que se den una idea, En una cucharada sopera cabe 10 gramos de tierra. En esos 10 gramos de tierra, dependiendo qué tan rica sea esa tierra, puede haber entre 1 millón de microorganismos y 10,000 millones de microorganismos. O sea, depende qué tan rica sea esa tierra. Si es una tierra del desierto, pues va a tener 1 millón de microorganismos. Pero si es una tierra de un campo regenerativo, pues a lo mejor va a tener 10,000 millones. Esa cucharada sopera de tierra. Y para que se den una idea, los agricultores, eso lo voy a extender un poquito, pero bueno, ya estamos aquí y se los voy a decir porque mucha gente no lo sabe y se deja llevar por las cosas que realmente no son. Aquí ella mencionó que realmente son muy poquitos los que son patógenos y es real. Los agricultores tienen un grave problema con los nemátodos. Para que se den una idea, detectados hay 25,000 especies de nemátodos. ¿Sí? Especies. Se estima que hay 500,000 de nemátodos que todavía no están identificados. Y de todo ese gran universo, solamente 10 tipos de nemátodos son los que son de perjuicio para las cosechas. Entonces, para que se den una idea, la gran biodiversidad de microorganismos del suelo se crea a través de la gran biodiversidad de materia orgánica, ya sea de excretas o excrementos de seres vivos de cualquier tipo o de propiamente una fruta, una verdura, un árbol, una planta, lo que sea, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, ya me extendí mucho. Sí. Un nemátodo. Bueno, un nemátodo es, haz de cuenta, es microscópico, pero es como si fuera una lombricita, ¿sí? Como una lombricita. Esa es, digamos, como que la estructura, ¿no? Pero es microscópico. Y los culpan de que se comen las raíces de las plantas y que son plaga. Y lo que pasa es que, voy a extender un poquito ahí, los fertilizantes químicos que usan únicamente se los comen ese tipo de nemátodos. Entonces, cuando hay una abundancia de fertilizante químico, pues los únicos que se benefician son ese tipo de nemátodos porque tienen gran cantidad de comida en abundancia. Y luego, por otro lado, les ponen agroquímicos que matan a los enemigos naturales y pues ya se convierte en una plaga, ¿no?
Just really quick. La pregunta de Derek fue qué pensamos de utilizar las heces humanas como manure, como abono para la tierra, y quiero contarles de un proyecto que está aquí en México, en Veracruz, que se llama Las Cañadas. Esta es una cooperativa increíble. Si nunca han ido y no lo conocen, les invito a aprender más del proyecto Bosque de Niebla, Las Cañadas. Y la filosofía, que es muy linda ahí, es que todo lo que extraigo de la tierra lo tengo que regresar. Y entonces, como ellos son una cooperativa, todos los que viven ahí, todo lo que se produce dentro de las cañadas se queda en las cañadas. Entonces, si yo me como los alimentos que vienen de la tierra, ya sea las plantas que sembré ahí o la carne o la leche de las vacas que pastaron ahí, estas vacas extrajeron energía al comerse el pasto y después la convirtieron en leche y después yo obtengo esa energía cuando me tomo la leche. Si yo voy al baño y le jalo, y es un baño convencional de agua, y mis heces o mi orina se van de ahí, además de que se van a contaminar el agua, están saliendo de la cooperativa. Eso quiere decir que una parte de la energía que tendría que regresar se está escapando, la estoy perdiendo. Y entonces, como la filosofía de ahí es que todo lo que se genere ahí tiene que regresar para que se quede dentro de las cañadas, entonces también utilizan los excrementos humanos como parte de la composta y tienen sus reglas como lo que comentaba de a lo mejor no lo usan al lado de donde crece la lechuga que me voy a comer, ¿no? Tienen unos lugares específicos donde puede ser utilizado, pero Pero sí, si pensamos de esta manera cada vez que vamos al baño y le jalamos, estamos perdiendo nutrientes, microorganismos que extrajimos de algún lado y que los estamos mandando a un lugar donde no pueden ser utilizados.
Bueno, yo quiero hacer énfasis en algo que es muy importante y tiene que ver con desechos, que lo que acaba de decir Galia, regularmente utilizamos agua purificada para llenar los tanques de nuestros excusados y contaminar el agua con nuestros desechos para juntarlos después en los arroyos que después entubamos porque apestan y demás. Y creo que compostear nuestros desechos definitivamente es algo que tenemos que comenzar a hacer. Hay diferentes tecnologías. Mi favorita es una que se llama Clibus, con V, y esa trabaja con gravedad, calor solar y además lombrices. Entonces, cuando tú vas al baño, cae en una superficie en la que hay lombrices y una vez que las lombrices van moviendo las cosas, se caen por gravedad y se calientan por el sol hasta que terminan en una cámara donde ya están listas para utilizarse. Ni siquiera hay que esperar meses para que se compostee. Lo que va saliendo ya es utilizable. Entonces creo que es una tecnología muy, muy buena. Y otra cosa que es importante considerar es que en este planeta siempre ha habido la misma cantidad de agua y que no hay una crisis de agua. Hay una crisis de administración humana del agua, así como del aire y de los demás elementos que nos permiten la vida.
Muchas gracias. Make some noise for our speakers. Thank you so much, all of you. Muchas gracias. You can take that. We'll get those actually. We got to go to the next one. All right, guys, please make some noise for our lovely speakers here. I know there's more questions. Find them, talk to them. They will be around. Everybody will be around the whole weekend. There's never enough time. We totally understand that, but we got to continue on with our next amazing presenters. I mentioned Geophilia earlier, and we're about to hear from them. What I love about Lydia and Arturo is that they come from a very, I think, unique place, considering not only various spiritual and esoteric elements about how we build our buildings and how we build our land and where we place things, but they also do come from a permaculture background. And they are also, has anybody seen on the schedule that on Monday there's a pyramid tour? Has anybody seen that or caught that? If not, you should go to the workshops page and check it out. They will tell you more about that. They're going to share about their story, their work in permaculture, and how they've taken that idea and really expanded on it and taken it in some beautiful directions. So please welcome Dr. Lydia and Arturo to our stage.
Hello, everyone. How are we feeling today? Second day? Make some noise for the People's Reset, the amazing work of all this team. Thank you, Derek, for the invitation. And we're always so happy to be part of this event. So, my name is Lydia. This is my amazing husband, Arturo. I'm from Greece and Arturo is from Mexico. We both do holistic architecture, which means we help you design spaces that are for healing, harmonic, for your best health. My passion also has been many years in decoding ancient temples. So we will see how this blends today. Arturo's passion is sacred geometry, and he's also trained as me in permaculture and eco-village design. So we love to design eco-villages. That's the best project that you can give us to design. But today we'll see like a very unique blend on how permaculture, sacred ecology, and ancient temple technology comes together.
Thank you so much for being here. All those that are online also, thanks so much for joining. We have a lot of information. Are you ready? Like a lot. So I will try to bend time and space so I can put everything in a fractal. Who has seen before our presentations? Okay, good. So we can go to have some lunch. So we have some new materials, really nice things. So I'll do my best to share as much as I can. We have a lot of visuals also. And at the end, we will do an exercise for some volunteers that they want, but they want to participate. So it's going to be really amazing. So I don't know if I can see my presentation somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will be blending science, spirituality, and some concepts like key concepts. So what is sacred? This is sacred. This is a torus. For those that are familiar with sacred geometry, this is a toroidal field. We all have a toroidal field around us. So the electromagnetic field is like that. And from there, we have gravitational field, which is the energy that is imploding. It's sucking energy. And we have an electromagnetic field energy that is exploding from the center. This is, okay, I'm turbo or what? So this is the wave. When we say the electromagnetic field, this is the way you can represent. So it's literally, it's vibrating. Everything is, it's really vibrating. And we can also represent like this. This is a beautiful image from Alex Gray, and it's just gorgeous. So what is sacred in scientific terms is this. It's a dynamic balance that create fractal implosion. Fractal is any image or any geometry that is represented inside itself through something that is called golden proportion or golden mean. Specifically speaking, is 1.618. Have you heard about golden number? Yes? We all know what's golden number? Please look at your hands now, please. So the first, in your finger, the first bone to the second bone, how much did it grow? I don't listen. How much?
What's the proportion between
It's
the
there.
parts?
How much? 1.618. So please, if you forget everything about this presentation, just remember that. 1.618 is the most important number for nature to create. So that's why it's linked to permaculture, and we will see how. So then, what is ecology? This is the science of ecology. So ecology in scientific terms is when nature, when everything that surrounds us, we ourselves, transform something that is called longitudinal waves and transversal waves. So this is kind of scientific, but just bear with me. So imagine a wave that is moving like this. It's going up and down. And then this wave, through that cone, that's very important. It changed the angle, and it will start moving like this. It's going to start moving like push and pull. Why is that important? Because in our planet, beautiful planet, we have earth frequencies, different type of earth frequencies. And you can see there, we have the Schumann resonance, and we have transversal resonance. You have heard about Schumann resonance, have you? And in the mystical world, they say that the Schumann resonance is changing and we're elevating our frequency. Well, that's not true. It doesn't matter. It's nice. But what we're doing is that we're creating more fractality in that, in those frequencies. So Schumann resonance is a cascade of frequencies. There are many frequencies that that we resonate with. So that's super important that the places that we are designing, the places we're living, the fields that we're doing permaculture have that resonance. That's why some crops are very healthy and others are not. So please take a picture of those frequencies. If you have your phone, just take a picture of those frequencies, because those frequencies are the healing frequencies, specifically healing frequencies for that resonates with the Schumann resonance. So for those that are doing, some healing with frequencies, that's the key. So what we want to do is go back? Okay. Sorry?
You can also watch the replay,
Yeah.
so you can see it from very easy screenshot from your computer.
Yeah, so structures that bend magnetic lines mean that we want that our places, the places that we live, our fields, can literally bend the electromagnetic lines.
So the scope, and this ties with the ancient temples, and we will see that in a bit, is that they were using these kind of structures for many reasons. One of them was to create this magnetic field where the seeds would grow even more and the yield would be higher.
Yeah, so that's why they were creating temples. So this has to do with a concept that is called paramagnetic and diamagnetic materials. That's very important, because if you have a field that nothing is growing, you want to add more paramagnetic stones. So you can contact us, we can give you a list, etc. Now we don't have, a lot of time.
But just important here is that diamagnetic materials, if you've never heard of this term, they literally repel the magnetic fields, but the paramagnetic ones or the ferromagnetics, they attract. So that's actually very beneficial for seeds. If you want to dig deep in the subject, you can get Phil Callahan's books on paramagnetism and agriculture. It's incredible.
So this is part of the toroidal. You can see there the toroidal fields. This is all the work that has been done with sacred geometry. So using the same principle that you want to transform, this is a device that is called the Ultra Imploder from a very good friend, Dan Winter. He's a physicist, and he created this device that you take water and you change the angular momentum of water. You make it pass through magnets, and you literally create a 3D golden spiral and
structure water, which this is really important because it has amazing results for agriculture. So it can really increase the yield. The plants are far healthier because the water is healthy. So if you want more information on this device, you can find it on our website, geophilia.org. You go to the shop and you will find all the information along with experiments and things. But it's an amazing device if you're into permaculture and agriculture. So these are kind of results that you can see with imploder water and normal water, and you can see also the difference between the plants on how they grew, and also we measure the size or the length of the different stalks. And of course, you have different, let's say, results with the water that has gone through the imploder, or water that has gone through phi ratio or sacred geometry. So as Arturo said before, the definition of sacred is through the golden ratio, and the pentaflower, the one you see here on your left. So these are plants that we saw before exposed to that geometry, and of course the seed germinated far more. And here we see tap water vs magnetic water, because the imploder uses special magnets apart from the golden ratio. So we have far better entropy, and so we have better results in agriculture.
so what happens, the type of water that is inside our cells is structured water. It's not chaotic. It's perfectly structured. And of course, you can also add these type of stones like menhirs in your field.
And this was an experiment also done a few years ago. So paramagnetic stones arrayed in a special golden ratio geometry improved significantly the results in agriculture and the yield. So the plants are far healthier. So a very easy way, if you want to implement, if you are growing different things, you can create that. You use special paramagnetic stones, you place them in this array, and then you have a really big effect. Plus you get imploder water, and then you have like stacking all these layers, right? And this was again another experiment in Australia. You have the Sri Yantra, and you have exactly on the nodes, you have specific paramagnetic stones again, and then they had great results with the yield and the plants.
You can see there in the bottom right, the Sri Yantra, just the geometry, all made with these paramagnetic stones, and then they increased the amount of rain, the amount of solubility of water, and it's just fascinating. So permaculture, I mean, I'm not going to read everything because you're familiar about permaculture, but basically it's a system of design that want to create a sustainable human environment. So it was proposed by Bill Mollison. There are some considerations in terms of practical design, like the systems should last as long as possible with the least maintenance. You have different elements. You have to consider the site components, the energy components, the abstract components, and social components. You have, of course, you have seen the different zones in permaculture. So you start with the 00 zone, and then from there you start growing. So the things that need less energy, they'll be in zone 5, etc. And 3 ethics in permaculture: care for the earth, people, and fair share. And this is just amazing. I mean, we can talk days and days and weeks in these 12
the 12 main principles.
Principles of design. So please take a picture of that, and if you're interested, just check online now. There is a lot of information, but this can be applied to anything. Anything you
literally.
do. Like literally any type of design that you do, you can apply those principles.
Even in
amazing.
Relationships, guys. Take it and apply it to your relationships.
Okay, go back. So now we will jump into some projects that we have done, some
practical applications.
Yeah, so everything that you see here, it's not AI, it's real projects that we design. It's not robots. So some of them are from us, others are from clients, from collaborators. So you can do living machines, which is a whole big subject. Natural ponds, of course. You can create them because you want to. In permaculture, basically what you want to do is harvest water and soil. That's what you want to do, as much as you can.
And create the most harmonic synergy between all these elements.
So here there are some, sacred geometry, labyrinths. You can create ponds. Of course, we use a lot of, geometric gardens, edible forest. This is a whole beautiful design. So you have to take into consideration what's the height of every plant in years, so they don't obstruct each other. Okay. So we will be more turbo. This is very important. Please take a picture of this one. So you can check it online. These are called key lines. So in order to avoid desertification of the land when there is a lot of rain, what happens is they just chop the forest and then you will have desertification. So you want to stop rain to go very fast, and you do it through these swales and key lines. This is one of the most important concepts in designing water. What you want to do is to stop water and then, conduct water to your ponds or to your lakes.
And also energetically speaking, because I know you guys listening in this audience, you also have that side. It's always very good to have water running all around the property. So very, very beneficial in many aspects.
Okay, so these are some other examples. So we'll go through some examples that we've done. So
like how we have incorporated permaculture in our different projects.
So this is a master plan. It's in Argentina. You can see there in the right, there is like a big river. And then you can see, color-coded in blue, the different lakes, etc. And it's this is the result. So this is how they ended up building it. You can see there, it's really beautiful, the work it ended. So of course they have
the vineyards,
a lot of earth, sunsets. They have a organic garden community, and like this permaculture. This is another one. This is Bios Lila. This is actually in Mexico. This is in Jalapa. If you want to visit, just go
Montessori
there.
School.
It's a Montessori school, and it's all built with natural materials and based on all these principles of permaculture. It's literally the owner said, I don't want to see anything industrial. Like, I don't want to see cement. I don't want to see anything. Everything has to be natural. So it was not an easy job, but they made it beautiful. AMA Center, this is in Cuernavaca in Mexico.
So this was like one of the deliverables in the PDF. So it's all the analysis. So for permaculture, it's a big master plan design. Of course, doing a holistic master plan is really important if you have a big project. And then you can see the different type of plants, what goes there, where are the different zones. So all the practical applications.
Yeah, here important is to say, you can see there in the center, there is a huge mandala, which is based in a pine cone. So the whole project is based in a pine cone. And then from this huge mandala, we have this super adobe. Are you familiar with super adobe? Yes? It's just amazing, no? To build with it. Super
and
adobe.
The gate, a few indoors images. Then another beautiful project in
This is in Toluca, in Mexico. Toluca. This is built with concrete because they're in a city. They will not give them, like permits. But still, you can apply permaculture principles. Like
so there is water around. Yeah, there is waterfall. There is garden.
Yeah, you can see there in the left there is a huge waterfall and water running all around the property, and different aspects. So this one is in Argentina, which is the idea is to harvest as much water as possible. So we literally, like. This is the mandala, like a huge mandala. With actually here we use ferrocement, which is very easy to do. It's very fast to do. You don't need, any complicated things.
Some indoors with sacred geometry, and this is a really powerful project we did. This is in Greece, the biggest organic agriculture producer. So he was going to do an extension of his factory. It's all organic, and what we did is that he wanted to store the seeds there, and we wove these custom geometries that we designed only for him based on his personal analysis and everything. This is actually from when we were finishing the work. And the result was this. So he stored the seeds in his older place of the factory, And in the new place that we designed, and we also added some special powders in the concrete floor, so no design even, just we affected the floor. And you can see on the left is in 2 weeks, on the top no geometry, and down with geometry, the same seeds. And on the right you have after a month no geometry and 1 month with geometry, and it has a huge difference. So he sent us these pictures and he's like super happy with the result. So yeah, seeds get activated with that.
Yeah, we will do, when we finish, hopefully on time, we will do an exercise there.
Yeah.
And you will see how we resonate with these type of geometries.
So how does that link now to temples? So this is something that I have been decoding for a long time about what is the real technology of ancient temples and what was the real function. And I found that there were 3 main parameters in temples all around the world, that they are universal, meaning it doesn't matter what the background is, culturally, religiously, or aesthetically in terms of architecture, but these 3 parameters are universal. So the first one is the earth link. So the location played a huge role in ancient temples, meaning they were not placed in a random area. And these places that they were placed, there were areas with what is called geophysical anomalies. You don't need to remember the term, but what it really means is a place where the different values, like the magnetic field or the gravity field or all these different values, the electromagnetism has a big shift. So in this area, there's a big shift, either like a big reduction or a big increase. And so in these areas, we have like different phenomena which are literally creating a powerful charge. That's what I want you to remember from this part today. So the areas where the temples are built, there is always a big electromagnetic charge, which is measurable. And then we've been doing this for years. We have a whole like project measuring temples around the world. Here, this is part of my PhD, and I just laid out megaliths in Portugal, and I literally saw how they correlated with the radon content. So first of all, how did they know that the radon was there, and why would they place it there? Is because they were looking for the charge. This is Chichen Itza, and it's placed over a cenote. So underground water creates these anomalies. So they were harvesting that energy. Now, the second parameter, I mean, these usually it's like a seminar of hours to explain you deeply all that, but the second parameter is about the building design. It's the geometry and shape. It's not a random thing. They always used very specific proportions and shapes. The second is the materials. So they used very specific materials that I'll get to in a minute. And the dimensions that, you know, you have a shape, but how big or small? So it was always related to specific small dimensions that actually come from quantum physics or holistic, unified physics. You guys heard of cymatics? Yeah. So this is a relation that shows us how geometry and shape and form is directly linked with a frequency, which means every frequency also translates into a form. And we know that sacred geometry can have results in different things. We just showed you in our project in Greece, like a real project with results. We know that a simple pyramid can keep fruit and vegetables more time. Now, about the materials, they used very conductive materials. They needed to amplify the field that they used from the earth. So that was really important. And then dimensions, as I said, there is something called the Planck. You can look into it more because today we don't have time. And then they used many times that number times golden ratio. And the third parameter, so Skylink, the building design itself with the materials and the proportions and the dimensions. And the third part was the sky connection. So maybe you've heard about archaeoastronomy. So temples all around the world, they all have celestial alignments, meaning they're either, for example, here we see the Xi'an pyramids in China, Giza Plateau and Teotihuacan pyramids all having the Orion belt alignment. And so that was creating that fractality, bringing the sky element down, and the temple was creating this earth and sky connection. But then I was wondering, what was the real functions of the temples? Was it just for religious worship, or was it more to it? And what I found out was these 4 main functions that I have scientific backup. There are a few more that I'm not going to touch today, but we will touch on them on the pyramid visit on Monday if you join us. So these 4 were altered states of consciousness, healing technology, seed growth enhancement, and energy generation. Today in the presentation, we'll talk just about the seed growth enhancement, but the other three, I'll tell you all about it on Monday that I hope you join us. So seed growth enhancement, the interesting thing is that the atmosphere has high levels of nitrogen, which is a very well-known plant fertilizer. But guess what? This is in a form that is not usable by the plants. So what happens when there is a lightning is that, which is basically what is it, is an electrical discharge that ionizes that nitrogen of the molecules of the air and converts them into nitrates. And that's exactly what the plant needs and uses. So a lightning, remember that, can leave back free nitrogen equivalent to 1 or 2 years of fertilizer. What do we see through that? That electricity is fertilizer for our plants, and that has been replicated many times. So here you see in the top seeds that of heirloom corn, and in the bottom the controls are in the top, and in the bottom you see seeds that were left on top of pyramids. So you can see how much more they grew. Of course, there is a optimum time. It's a phenomenon that is called hormesis that I don't have the time to go today, but we'll talk about it on Monday. And this is another example. This is from Guatemala, in the top 11 days old, and you can see the top is the control, the bottom is the one that was placed in the Tikal pyramid for a few minutes actually. After that, you can kill the plant and it doesn't grow anymore. So one reason that temples were created, apart from the other three functions that I mentioned before, was why? Because you cannot have a civilization that thrives spiritually if you don't have food abundance. So in that way, they had a guarantee that they could have abundance for their people so they don't starve. So that was really, really important. And now we just wanted to share that we're also doing a freedom cell. So that's in Valle de Bravo. If you want to check it out, it's on our webpage. Of course, it's in the Freedom Cell Network. We're so grateful that, Derek and all this team, they have created this amazing concept, which, we had already jumped in before we even knew it. And so if you're interested in that, you can find the application form. We already are living off-grid for 7 years. And this is just a few ideas for other other events that we have. So we are really passionate about the temples. We have an upcoming event in March in Guatemala, 17 to 24 of March. So if you want to experience really the temples yourself, this is going to be a very special one. Guatemala is not very well known, but it's one of the most powerful temples I've visited in my life. We'll have like Mayan fire ceremonies and very indigenous ceremonies as well, apart from all the visits. And we'll visit El Mirador, which is the biggest pyramid in the world, with helicopter. So it's not accessible otherwise. And also, if you want to keep learning, going deeper in the temple and all these spiritual awakening aspects, this is our membership, Return to the Temple. So you can check it out as well online. And for both of these two things, we have a special discount for the People's Reset. So we'll show it at the end, but you can email us with the code and we'll give you a special rate only for the people of the Greater Reset. And so on Monday, we're doing this. We're visiting Tintuntan and Iguazio pyramids. We'll also have time for a lot of questions, and I'll explain all the different aspects of the temples that we didn't get to talk about today, and we'll do temple activations. So that's a thing that we created over all these years, which is to return the temple in its original frequency. And in the past, there was a temple grid, and it was all connected for many reasons. It would keep the energy of the planet in a higher vibration. And also it was for energy generation, other things. So we'll get to do that all together, and that activates us. It activates the temples, and we help raise the frequency of the planet. So this is the QR code. If you want to check it, you can take it with your phone now, or you can check it, as Derek said, in the workshop area, and you can find all the details there. So this is the special discount for the People's Reset. So People's Reset 2025, this is our email, contact@geophilia.org. Sure.
We go back to where we were talking about phi ratio. You remember phi ratio? How much? Yes, thank you. We'll do now an exercise.
You'll get to feel the power of the golden ratio right now as a team.
If we still have time.
Yeah, we have time.
Okay.
Yeah. We made it on time.
Are you still with us, or was too much, too little? Good. You're still here. You didn't wake. Okay, good. Okay, so 1 second, just the last slide. So you can take a picture there. Send us an email. That's the email, contact@geophilia.org, with the title People's Reset, and we will send you like more information.
Also, if you have any project or you're designing your freedom cell or an off-grid house, we will also give you a discount, especially for the People's Reset.
So let's take, let's please stand up. And we will need, I mean, how much time do we have? 10, 15? 15? Oh, that's amazing. We have all the time of the world. Okay, so let's make here, if we can move all those chairs, like somehow, because we...
I want to do it back there.
Or we can do it back there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so we
okay.
don't move the chairs.
We don't move anything. So what we need to do, please come. We will make a huge circle. So we do it here for the cameras. Okay. So what we have to do like a huge circle here around. So these chairs, somehow we have to put them here, like to have empty, I mean, let's do it as fast as we can. No one will get pregnant, so no problem. I don't know. So let's just, all these chairs, if we can make like a huge circle, let's say.
It's going to be magical, guys.
Yeah.
Trust Artur, he's been doing this 20 years. 20 years.
It's going to be a very, I mean, no problem. Let's do it as fast as we can. It's going to be 5 minutes, hopefully. 5.
No, that was the chairs.
Yeah, the tour, she's asking me, the tour is going to be in English. We hope to translate somehow. I can translate. I'm from Mexico, so I speak a little bit of Spanish. But it's going to be mainly in English, and I will translate if there is some Spanish people. Okay, so this is great. Thanks so much. Okay, so we'll have, if we can make like a huge circle, like a kind of hand, arm to arm. Yeah, exactly. So like a huge circle, please. Yeah, we're all here. Okay, we're here. Good. Yes, we're all here. Great. So if you can kind of, make a circle, like a real circle. Okay, that's it. Great. So, yeah, that's good. So we're all, like they're included. Yes, we're all here. So we need 21 volunteers, please. Come here to meet 21 people, please. Whoever wants, 21, 2, 1. Okay, that's it. How many we are? I don't know. You count yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, great. So let's do very. It's going to be just amazing. So please close your eyes. Those that are inside, here in the center. Okay, just close your eyes. So what we will do, give yourself a little bit of space. So you can move your arms. Yeah. So we will do, look at me before you close your eyes. So we will do this. We will put our hands like this, okay, in this angle. Why this angle? Remember I told you about...
Both hands, guys.
Both hands, yeah. I mean, I cannot do it. Yeah. So remember I told you about phi ratio, 1.618? So imagine you have phi ratio, but in a circle. So the angle, the exact angle, is like this. Exactly the angle he has is 137 degrees. It's, I cannot say it in Spanish, sorry, because I will lose myself. So, so this is 137 degrees, which is exactly phi ratio. Have you seen, like priests that they pray to God they put their hands like this? This is when you are taking energy from the vacuum, from the space energy, and then go down like this. So you will do the same ratio, but just down. So move it a little bit more, a little bit less. You follow me? So you will feel somewhere there is an angle that you click. You feel it? Do you feel it? So there is a specific angle where you feel like click, like you have embedded into something. Well, this is her toroidal field. Remember, we're talking about the toroidal field. Embedding in a bigger toroidal field. Like you can do it. Those that are in the back, you can also do it. I mean, so you can put your hands up. You see, your hands up, and feel where there is like a click. Literally, you embed into a bigger field. 5 minutes, okay. And then do it down. So this is the feminine, which you're embedding your energy towards the earth. You feel it? It just start getting like, energy. So what we will do, the 21 that were inside here in the center, please close your eyes. And then with your hands like this, the one we have in, feminine energy, you will walk very slowly, okay, with your eyes closed. No one will get pregnant, no problem. Your things are safe. So you will walk freely. Please start walking freely, just very slow, so no problem. You will not, with your eyes closed. You will walk until you find a place that you feel comfortable, until you find a place that you say, wow, I feel good here. So do it very slowly. So if you hit with someone, no problema. Just keep walking until you find a place that you say, here I feel powerful. Here I feel strong, Here I feel okay. I feel like more relaxed. I feel more centered. So do it slowly, until you find the place. When you find it, just stay there. So keep moving. If you haven't found it, just keep moving slowly. At some point, you will find like something that kind of implodes you. It's something that puts your energy like in the ground. You will feel more powerful. You will feel more relaxed. So why is this important? Because, permaculture is exactly about that. Permaculture and all the design that we do in our houses and everything that we do has to do with that. How we locate things regarding something else. It's a proportion. It's a ratio. Okay? So who's still moving? Keep moving until you find it. Did you find it? You're good? Yeah? Okay. So please open your eyes and you tell me what proportion they are all in between each other. For example, if, let's say, remember about phi ratio? Yeah? So in between each other, they were all moving. So let's imagine she's 0 and she's 1. Where is he in between these two extremes? Where is he? In the middle or where? A little bit to the left. You see it? Trying to find phi ratio relation in between these extremes. Now imagine, she's 0, okay? And he's 1. You follow me? Where is she? In the middle? She's a little bit to the left. Finding 0.618, finding phi ratio. Remember what I told you about your hands? That's nature expressing itself. Now, imagine who else? He is 0, and he's 1, here in the extreme, okay? So, where is he? Is he in the middle of these two extremes? No. It's in phi ratio. He's a little bit to the left. But if you start saying in between everyone else, it's the same. If he's 0, and she's 1, where is she? A little bit towards him. You see? Magic. How does this thing happen? Because we're all resonating in phi ratio, because it's the natural proportion of the universe. You follow me? Good? Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Can we get all of our lovely audience to help us put those chairs back for the next presentation? In 5 minutes or less. You guys are awesome. And to everybody at home, we appreciate you very much for being here. We hope that you're participating in your own ways. You see that a lot of our discussions and our experiences here are very much in person, which is why you need to come here next year. Can I get a loud noise and welcome, send all the love to our friends at home and get them to come here next year. Make some noise if you want more people from around the world to come here. Wherever you're at, the US, Mexico, Canada, UK, Europe, we want you here next year. And we know that you have the missing piece of the puzzle that we're all looking for. We're really, really grateful to everybody. And look at this spontaneous order here. Humans coming together without force or violence and getting things done. Imagine that. All right. How's everybody feeling? We still got one more really powerful presentation. So once you guys get the seats back in order, I hope you will take another seat and give our final presenters your full attention. These are some good friends, as are all of our speakers. Who's planning on going with Lydia and Arturo to the pyramid activation? Some of you guys go check it out. There's information out there. Our next presenters also have an event planned for Monday night. Who's heard about the People's Reset Party and Open Mic? Have you guys heard about that yet? Yeah. Make some noise if you plan to go to the People's Reset Open Mic Monday evening. Come join our next presenters there. All right, guys. If we could bring a quiet hush back over the room. Shh, and come take your seats for our final presenters before we have our permaculture networking. Then we're going to take a short break and come back here at 6 to 8 p.m. for the Eco Village networking, sponsored by Prosperous Legacy Advisors. We're going to get Bradley in here and his team, and they're going to do some awesome, fun stuff for you guys later this evening. I hope you guys still have more energy. Are you awake? You alive? You feeling good? Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm working 12-hour days over here, and I'm going to be at that concert dancing tonight. So I hope to see you guys there. If I can do it, you can do it as well. All right, everybody. Once again, please, if you could just shh. Thank you so much. We got one more presenter. We want to make sure we give them our full attention, just like you have the rest of the day. Really grateful to all of y'all for being here. So, yeah, I think we're ready to go for our final presenters. Let me just share a little bit about them before they come on stage here. Okay. All right. So Yoshi and Paula, they are going to do the first part of the presentation in Spanish and in the second half in English. So if you would like to get headsets for either of those, you can get them at the back of the room. So again, this next and final presentation will be partially in Spanish and partially in English. Please feel free to check out a headset if you need to. And let's give a big round of applause for our translators, our interpreters in the back of the room. These guys are working so hard to make all of this possible. We are so, so grateful for them. This is our 4th year working with them. And honestly, it's an extra cost that's completely worth it to us, right? To us, it is worth being able to end this event. And you know what we end up with? We end up with English recordings of every single talk and Spanish recordings of every single talk. And so for those who don't know, we have the main Odyssey channel that's all in English, but we also have the Spanish Odyssey channel where we've released every single talk from the Greater Reset 3, 4, and 5 in Spanish for free, available on our channel as well. And that's important to us. So yeah, we want to keep building these bridges and building this integrated movement. I'll just share about that while everybody grabs their headsets. You know, I've been making independent media. I've been doing activism for 15 years now. I've met a lot of really great people around the world, but most of them are based in English-speaking countries, whether that's Western Europe, Australia, the United States, Canada, etc. Most of that content, those books, those documentaries, those podcasts, most of it is only in English. And when I started to visit Mexico, and when Miriam and I decided to move to Mexico, we realized how important it was to get not only my work, get my books and documentaries in Spanish, but to get as much truth content, as much solutions into Spanish, and not just into Spanish, but into as many languages as possible, and vice versa. There's a lot of beautiful Spanish journalists and content creators and podcasters, and their work isn't in English. So the more languages we have, the more we translate all this knowledge, I think there's just so much potential to that. Think about that. The first documentary you watched that maybe was in English or Spanish, and it hasn't been translated into another language yet. Imagine the potential of translating it to a new language and then watching it go completely viral again in a new language, and more people waking up and more people going on this journey. That's what excites me. So that's why we make this effort to really build these bridges between Spanish and English. So, all right, listo? Okay, without further ado, please make some noise, give lots of love and warm welcome to Yoshi and Paula Pintera. Give them your full attention. Yeah, come on, build it up. They deserve it. Yes, 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 yes.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for your energy and your presence and all the action that's being done here at the People's Reset, a very important event. Nothing like it around the world, where people with amazing projects come together to take action in a radical way, creating parallel systems and become independent from government and corporations in a way that it can be obsolete if we do the effort. We are the people, and we are presenting a little bit of what is regenerative awakening, the feminine and the masculine energy in permaculture design. With this said, because of a lot of information has been going through, we want to connect with our body and not only with our mind. So we're gonna do a little exercise. I know you've been doing exercise with other speakers and there's another speaker with the exercise. No, this is about connecting the heart, mind, and the masculine and feminine energy in our body so we can receive all this information with that same synchronicity, the masculine and the feminine energy. So let's do this. With your right hand, the masculine energy, right? You're gonna do it forward, forward, and then the left, it goes backwards and at the same time. There you go. One is backwards on the left, the right is in the front. There you go. Now let's change it, let's change it. Right to the back and left to the front. There you go, there you go. It's a good exercise. There you go. All right, now let's do another one. We're gonna tap our head, right? Our head needs a little massage, a little wake up, wake up. We're gonna receive some good information and thank the head. Thank you, cabecita, muchas gracias. Qué linda cabecita, yeah, yeah. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the heart. Yeah, with the beat of the heart, yeah, 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 yeah. All right, now let's do, rub the head, make it shine. I know you have hair, make it shine. Now tap at the same time the heart. Nice. All right, now let's do the opposite. We're gonna rub the heart and tap the head. There you go, there you go. Awesome. Yeah, thank you very much. Now, let's do a clap to synchronize our hearts and mind with one sound, the vibrational sound of the clap. So everybody together, we're gonna just listen to one sound at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Almost, I saw like 2 claps out there. 3, 2, 1. Yay, rub it, rub it, rub it. That sounds beautiful. Open that and put it on your heart and sound right there with your mouth closed. With all the intention, with all the love. Yeah. All right. With all this intention and all the love, we begin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hermanas, hermanos del camino de la libertad. Nos encontramos en un momento crucial de la historia de la humanidad, donde la integración de la sabiduría ancestral junto con la permacultura moderna es no solo una opción, sino una necesidad vital para la regeneración de nuestras comunidades y del ecosistema. En ese sentido, me gustaría hoy recordarnos una verdad antigua y, sin embargo, más relevante que nunca. La danza sagrada entre lo femenino y lo masculino que sostiene toda la vida. Una sagrada polaridad que, al estar bien integrada y en armonía, nos beneficia tanto en el diseño interno, Permacultura 00, como en la plasmación de nuestros territorios, espacios donde tejemos nuestra realidad y visiones. Como yo nací en los Andes ecuatoriales, voy a empezar hablando de nuestra cosmovivencia, que está perfectamente representada y sincronizada en la chacana, la cruz andina, que es un tipo de estructura cognitiva que abarca todo el orden cosmológico de la existencia, donde se manifiestan las relaciones con la naturaleza, las dimensiones de conciencia, la organización social, y está expresado en dualidades, por correspondencia, por simetría, por analogía, por complementariedad y por reciprocidad. En este cosmo existir, resumido como sumac causae, buen vivir, tenemos varios principios que nos guían en el camino de equilibrio, como el yanantin masintin, el complemento de la diferencia, que nos enseña que todo existe en complementariedad perfecta, enfocándose en las cualidades que unen a las personas en lugar de las diferencias. Encontramos también el principio aini, reciprocidad o mutualismo, como una ley de flujo dual de dar y recibir. Y el rurai, que significa hacer bien, corazonando o sentipensando. Es un estilo de vida que se basa en que todo debe ser en equilibrio de pares proporcionales. Ahora, como ustedes saben, el mundo se ha masculinizado y corrompido. Se impuso un régimen patriarcal en todas las esferas del desenvolvimiento humano, impidiendo que siga el fluido natural sostenido por Gaia, Pachamama. Es por eso que es necesario resetearlo, impregnando más energía femenina, para que los sistemas vuelvan otra vez a ese orden, danza cósmica que los saberes ancestrales nos recuerdan. En la cosmovisión ancestral mexica, presentándose como balance dinámico entre opuestos, encontramos a Ometeotl, que significa dos Dios, lo que refleja la naturaleza dual de esta deidad, representando tanto aspectos masculinos como femeninos. Ometeotl significa la interacción de fuerzas contrapuestas, pero complementarias en el universo, como la creación y destrucción, la vida y la muerte, que se unen para orquestar el equilibrio y orden cósmico. Esto se traduce en una integridad de la divinidad dentro de cada uno, que en esta cosmovisión se distingue, por un lado, Tezcatlipoca, espejo de humo, encarnando el lado oscuro, la impredecible, lo astral, lo caótico, lo cual es el motor del cambio. Y por otro lado está Quetzalcóatl, que es la luz que equilibra la oscuridad. Es la encarnación de la sabiduría, la paz y el orden cósmico. Es la esencia del viento, el conocimiento y la belleza. Al igual que Ometeotl, como esencia inherente que explora la interacción entre conciencia, materia y energía, la relación entre Tezcatlipoca y Quetzalcóatl proporciona un marco para entender el equilibrio necesario en nuestro universo. Esta dualidad refleja una simbiosis cósmica entre fuerzas opuestas, que da como resultado la estabilidad en el fluir del tiempo, una sinergia en las intenciones conscientes que refleja una dinámica de reciprocidad en que las energías en juego se equilibran mutuamente, garantizando una existencia más armónica y un intercambio efectivo de fuerzas en el universo, poniéndonos así en un respeto profundo por la tierra, los ciclos naturales y una valoración de la vida en todas sus expresiones. La sabiduría oriental del yin-yang se refleja en cada siglo natural: la noche receptiva, que permite el descanso y la regeneración; el día activo, que impulsa el crecimiento y la expansión. Dentro del cuerpo están los nadis, que se entrelazan en un sistema energético en la columna vertebral. Por un lado está Ida, lo femenino, lunar, parasimpático, que nos relaja. Y por otro lado está Pingala, solar, simpático, que nos pone en acción o en reactividad. Entonces, ahí ya podemos ver cómo aprendiendo a manejar este microcosmos dentro nuestro, podemos fluir mejor en el macrocosmos externo. Tenemos que aprender a navegar en la rítmica femenina y masculina, en las fluctuaciones de vida, muerte, vida, para diseñar nuestras casas, huertas, espacios recreativos. Cada 3 meses el sol va moviéndose con solsticios y equinoccios. Cada 7 días la luna va cambiando su fase lunar, lo que está estrechamente relacionado al crecimiento, cultivo, cosecha y a la poda de las plantas y árboles. Así también nosotras, mujeres, tenemos nuestro ciclo menstrual. Y es importante que lo socialicemos con nuestros compañeros y nuestro equipo de trabajo para que así podamos tener una mejor distribución energética, organización y el proyecto surja bien. Por ejemplo, hoy es luna nueva en Capricornio, por lo que nos invito a que en un papel escribamos lo que queremos aterrizar, aquello que queremos manifestar en esta realidad. Y lo que queremos ver materializado, y lo vamos a poner ahí en ese altar hermoso que hemos construido entre todos, para que al final del evento hagamos este acto de comunicación con la naturaleza que se llama pagamento, y vamos ahí a sembrar esos propósitos que con esta luna nueva nos estamos poniendo. Entonces, así voy a seguir bajando esta información ancestral, cósmica, a tierra, para espiritualizar la materia, porque de nada sirve estar así, las estrellitas y los unicornios, sino que hay que bajar a tierra, hay que hacerlo raíz. Cuando hablamos de libertad, independencia y soberanía, vamos al uno mismo. Tenemos que descolonizarnos por dentro de toda esa matrix que ha sido puesta a través de la comida, o de la falsa comida. Imagínense yo que durante 24 años me alimenté de esa forma típica que nos dicen, y luego hace 10 años que me alimento de forma vegana, no industrializada. Y aún siento que sigue saliendo placa mucoide de cada ayuno y desintoxicación que hago. Ahí evaluemos cuánto tiempo vamos saboteando a nuestro cuerpo templo, lo cual interrumpe la capacidad de manifestar bienestar y creatividad. La verdadera soberanía comienza con nuestra conexión más básica con la vida, respirando conscientemente, recibiendo ese prana, absorbiendo el sol, que es energía masculina, viéndolo directamente a los ojos, con la conexión a tierra, que nos conecta con lo femenino, tomando agua activada por el sol y en movimiento, que nos ayuda también a fluir adentro, y con relaciones sagradas que nos ayudan a tejer ese tejido comunitario. Entonces, la alimentación no es solo lo que metemos en nuestra boca, es lo que vemos, es lo que escuchamos, es cómo nos sentimos. Y por eso es importante, primero, eliminar todas esas toxinas que nos rodean, desde los productos de limpieza, la ropa que usamos, el aire que respiramos, especialmente en la ciudad, que hay toda esa radiación. E ir a lo básico, que es hacer conexión a tierra. Hay una frase en español que es el pan nuestro de cada día. Yo diría que es la naturaleza nuestra de cada día, como hábito fundamental, siempre tocar la tierra descalzos, el movimiento, tomar el sol, eso es la primera básica alimentación. Y luego dejar de estar consumiendo tóxicos que vienen en plásticos, en los que comemos, así esos microplásticos, toxinas que se van impregnando en el torrente sanguíneo. Es liberarnos de eso, esa es la soberanía. Sacar todas esas programaciones, toxinas, toda esa matriz que está incorporada dentro en el cuerpo. y haciendo ese enfoque en lo primario, en lo natural, entonces vamos a diseñar nuestros territorios con mayor paciencia y escucha profunda, que son las cualidades femeninas esenciales. Vamos a observar los patrones de la naturaleza, a escuchar la voz de la tierra, a sentir los flujos de energía, el sol, el agua, el viento, cómo se mueve la lluvia, cuáles son las aves que pasan cada tiempo. A nutrir mejor la tierra, nutrir mejor a toda nuestra familia, a cuidar la armonía, la belleza y mantener la chispa creativa. Esa es la energía femenina. En cambio, la masculina, en el diseño permacultural, es una dirección clara y una implementación precisa, una construcción estructurada y sustentable, sostenible, un mantenimiento constante, una protección amorosa de los ecosistemas, con acción decidida. Por ejemplo, Yoshi y yo hemos descubierto que en esta danza de lo femenino y lo masculino, nos dividimos las tareas. Mientras yo estoy germinando semillas, él está creando la estructura donde se van a poner las plantas. O mientras yo estoy generando arte gráfico, él está haciendo cálculos estructurales. Eso en pareja, pero adentro de nosotros también podemos hacer este ejercicio de integrar lo femenino y lo masculino. Y eso lo logramos con meditación diaria, conectando estas dos energías. Observación consciente antes de la acción. Alternancia entre los periodos de actividad y también periodos de reflexión y de no hacer. Y cultivando relaciones que sean complementarias, diversas raíces, diversas edades, diversos criterios. Recordemos, cuando lo femenino y lo masculino danzan en armonía, nuestros proyectos florecen con una belleza y resistencia que trasciende el tiempo. Como el árbol que extiende sus raíces profundamente a la tierra mientras eleva sus ramas hacia el cielo, nosotros también podemos encarnar esa sagrada integración. Gracias por su atención. Que nuestros proyectos regenerativos sigan siendo ese testimonio de la danza cósmica. Y ahora voy a dar paso a la siguiente fase de la exposición.
Yay, thank you. So thank you very much for the presence of listening in Spanish with translation or not, which is very important nowadays because we can actually help evolve the language into Spanglish or into interlingua, like 3 to 5 languages all at the same time. Very interesting. That helps activate other parts of our brain and how we can perceive things. So gracias, amor. Y in summary, she highlighted the masculine and feminine energy in ancient wisdom, from the Ecuador, Amazon jungles and the Andes to the Mexican areas and lands, and as well in the Middle East with the yin and yang, and therefore bringing it down here to earth, in which in permaculture design, we can have roles of the masculine and feminine energy and have that awareness and presence of the masculine and feminine energy in nature, and therefore acting upon those patterns and allow us to be more in harmony with all life. So Paula and I have been together for 10 years. This year is going to be our 10th year together. And yeah, so it's important to acknowledge nowadays that relationships are very difficult, and therefore we allow ourselves to fine-tune ourselves first in order to be with our partner, in order to be in a community. So regenerative culture is about that. It's how to regenerate ourselves and how to regenerate our relationship with everything else. The people, the planet, the things, the computer, the microphone, the relationship to everything. We want to reevaluate and acknowledge the importance of how we carry our relationships and therefore act upon it. So what is culture? Culture, regenerative culture, let's break it down to culture. In the etymology, culture is to cultivate. It started as the understanding of the connection to the land, to cultivate the land, to prepare the land for nature, for the cultivation of the crops. And therefore, the relationship with nature, it starts being cultivated, and it started evolving. The 15th century, they started understanding that let's cultivate the soul. There are philosophers out there saying this. Let's cultivate the mind. And therefore, the cultivation of taking care of something and nurturing it, it started evolving to what is culture now. Culture is the collection of habits that we have, our habits in our daily life. We forget, we disconnect what is culture. Our habits is the way we dress, the music we listen to, the food we eat. Who likes comida mexicana, Mexican food? That's a culture right there. Who likes United States food? Like, who likes Asian food? Eso. Ecuadorian food. There's so much Ecuadorian food you don't even know about. It's amazing. So food is culture, music is culture, clothing is culture, our language is culture. Somewhat it becomes identity, right? We recognize that culture is part of who we are, who have we become over time. So, but there's also, of course, that ancient wisdom, the ancient cultures, the traditions. So culture over time becomes tradition, the traditions that we honor. There's really great practices of our ancestors that we honor. But nowadays, in 2025, after Christ, whatever that means, we've been existing for millions of years. What happens is that our culture, most of the culture in the world, if not all of the cultures of the world, have become degenerative. And that means that our habits of our daily life are destructive, create waste, exploit, contaminate. And so let's observe the habits that we have every day in our culture and let's regenerate. Okay, so with that said, this is a book called Designing Regenerative Cultures from Daniel Wall. What we have here is a really important aspect of how we observe regeneration, degeneration, but most commonly is sustainable. Sustainable is great in certain aspects, but we live in a moment in time where sustainability has been too sustainable. So and we're in a relationship with Paula for 10 years and someone asks us, how's your relationship? And we're like, sustainable, So we want to be regenerative and love each other and nurture each other and feed ourselves. It's exciting. We're going to have kids this year and, we're going to do big projects. Yeah. So observe in the middle, the sustainable line right there. And let's pass to this beautiful art from, what's his name? Mark Hansen, I forgot. I saw this art, of course, it's not AI, it's in 2010, they brought it out. And it blew my mind because we're living this exactly. We want to separate ourselves from a destructive society, culture that's degenerative, but then we don't know how because we're so attached to the things and the systems. We don't know how to grow our food. We don't know. We can't separate ourselves from computer. We can't separate ourselves from things. But we see the vision of how we could be living, but we just don't go. We just stay in the middle. And then we have this art. It's beautiful. And in permaculture, we like to see this art. When you search on the search engines, permaculture art, boom, you got these ones. And this is one of the first ones I found in 2009, 2010. And it's a great vision of how we can create our society. in harmony with all life. So what is regenerative culture in a nutshell? Is regenerative culture is the collection of human decisions and actions, thus habits, that cultivate harmony with all life. That cultivate harmony with all life. So let's ask ourselves this question. You can close your eyes if you like and ask yourself, what is the one thing I do in a daily basis that benefits all life? What is that one thing that I do in a daily basis that benefits all life? That one thing. Anybody wants to raise your hand? Yes, sir. How would that benefit all life? The cycle of exchange of oxygen and CO2. Yes. Awesome. Anybody else? Attention to your friends and family with your relationships. Nice. Thank you very much. Hermana?
Meditate on the frequency of love and thank God.
Meditate on the frequency and love and thank God. Thank you, hermana. Hermano?
Cultivate and tend my inner microcosm.
Nice. Thank you, hermano. All right, so this is all good. And yet there's a lot more. Every single decision and action, I'll go back right here. Every single decision and action of our daily life, the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, everything that happens in my daily life can benefit all life. So let us reevaluate those habits that we have. Okay, so us coming from Ecuador and learning about our ancestry and learning about culture and our habits and becoming a better person, we come across the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. We've shared about this in other presentations and other people reset conferences. You can check it out. But moving forward, we've been applying this in Ecuador, and somehow we just been called to Florida and Mexico and really activating and spreading the word and awareness of regenerative culture. And really important is how to make this happen in a more holistic and accelerated way. Over time, in these 10 years together, we have, since we met, put together these principles. 13 principles that allow us to help us reevaluate our decisions and actions of our everyday life. So if you want to start a big project, you want to have a community or a company, anything that you want to do with other people, principles are essential for it to be in harmony. So with this said, from applying all these principles, you start having coherence in your life. And what is coherence? Is the alignment of the thought, the word, and the action. That we don't lie ourselves. We don't self-sabotage ourselves. The more we do this, the more we connect and tap into spirit, and everything is vibration, and we learn how to communicate with everything in our surrounding environment. Furthermore, the relationship in alignment with our health, our personal health. If I want to be healthy, somehow I started connecting with the land. I cannot be not healthy if I'm not connected to the land. I cannot be healthy if I'm not connected to the land. Same thing, when I start connecting to the land, boom, I start connected to spirit. And it all started making sense. I cannot be spiritual if I'm not healthy. I cannot be spiritual if I'm not connected to the land. So it's vice versa. It's an alignment of coherence. And if we want to move forward outside or expanding ourselves in our awareness, we started working on ourselves, like I mentioned. Now we want to work in community with other people in our society, in our culture. So we have these pillars of regenerative culture, regenerative living, which is what we just talked about with ourselves, regenerative education, which is we want to evaluate the education system that is supporting the corporations and governments for enslavement, regenerative economy, that economy is not just money, but rather relationships. Regenerative business, so it's not just degenerative business like a restaurant, like creating all this waste, but rather a regenerative business that we understand where the products and resources come from and how we produce it in a more conscious way. Regenerative technology, yes, let's observe what's behind the scenes of Google and Facebook and Apple and Amazon and all this, and reevaluate that and support or practice in community with people that are more conscious about privacy and consciousness within technology. Same things with governance. There's so many different ways of governance that we didn't know about. We always thought that there has to be a president. So we can already redesign our whole society with all the tools and resources that exist already. So the only thing that's happening is that relationships are not as harmonious because we forgot how to trust, how to respect, how to love. So let us reevaluate all this. Regenerative arts and music, there's amazing art and music, but there's also low vibration, a little dark music that really keeps us slow and very, I just don't want to be negative on these things, but there's regenerative arts and music that helps expand consciousness. Regenerative spirituality as well. All the paths of spirituality are acceptable, and therefore let us thank it and be grateful for it, and let us grow with it and not judge or pinpoint the different perceptions of our reality. Everything is acceptance and remembrance. Let us be. Thank you. So with this, I want to share a practice that we've been creating is the conditions that allows us to accelerate the process from this awakening into the action. The awakening is, oh, I have this inner potential in me. The awakening is I can connect to spirit. The awakening is that there's a society that is just controlling and there's so much power and greed. This is a awakening cannot be overwhelming and I don't know what to do. I don't want to live where I live anymore. I don't want to have the friends I've had anymore. I don't want to work where I'm working. I don't know what to do. And that's why we're here in this type of conference, these types of events, where we come together and understand how to readjust and reevaluate and practice a more harmonious, holistic, regenerative lifestyle. So we've been creating these retreats since 2014 that allows us to create the conditions to help accelerate that process of not only being inspired, but to practice right now, to not creating waste, to eating healthy, to be in community and harmony, to be connected to the land, to be connected to spirit. So since 2014, we started in Ecuador, and like we said, somehow we came in Florida in 2020. We got there and we realized we can do the retreats there. And then with the People's Reset, we started doing retreats here in Mexico and aligning the prophecy of the eagle in the corner and spreading awareness of regenerative culture. These are a little bit of our projects that we started. Tropicana, like 2009, which is a conscious non-alcoholic party with tropical bass music. And of course, Ikwanga in the Amazon jungle with ecotourism, flora plant-based cuisine. We opened a restaurant for 8 years, which is now amazing to understand that what's possible. And of course, our Seeds event. And our latest project right now in the last few months is Raiz Eco Village. And let me tell you this, we've been wanting to create an eco village since we met, and it has been 10 years. Are we not capable of doing it? We're like, no, it's been 10 years of a lot of work of creating our eco village. What does that mean? The first thing before we jump into buying land and hey, let's all do this. It's like, wait. Let's understand and live the principles first. And let's understand of how to communicate, how to make decisions together and as a community with no hierarchy, with no power. Everyone has a voice. We can all understand and feel each other on how to make the best decisions for benefit of all of us. And now we're so ready to create it. And guess what? We've also been talking about creating family and have our first kids. And guess what? Everything starts synchronizing, manifesting. And we've met before this beautiful couple that they had this project. They still have it. And it's called Rio Muchacho. And it's in the coast of Ecuador. And this couple are retiring from their organic permaculture farm, It's a 35-year permaculture farm. So guess what? We wanted to create an eco-village, but we're going to buy land, and then we're going to plant the trees, and then we're going to, of course, design and everything, and then build. No, everything is done already for us. So, yeah, we got this amazing, we can sleep 35 to 44 people in the farm. There's amazing gardens and food forests in the farm. There's a beautiful river. A lot of people come year round. We got food year round. This is an amazing place, especially for the kids. There's structure for the kids. There's amazing cabins. We already started hosting our retreats there this year. We're so grateful to be stewards of this land, which, by the way, this land has been a desert 35 years ago, and now we have 35-year-old trees. They're huge canopy trees, really creating a home for us right now. And this farm has so much. This is the owners with their kids. This is us meeting with them every day, almost. And this is a little more detail about the farm. It's 20 minutes from the beach. We can sleep 35 to 44 people. They are already receiving 1,500 to 2,200 guests every year. Harvest 15 to 13 kilos a day. We can harvest way more, but we just don't need to. 60,000 trees planted already. Food production year-round, just because it's a tropical dry and tropical humid climate. It's right in the between of this beautiful climate, and it just creates so much diversity. Living river year-round, ancient history of the Valdivian culture, beautiful community neighbors, relationship with the local government, repetition with permaculture design courses, and there's also way more information, like we're connected to the University of Manta, which brings 180 kids, youth from the university every 3 months. And this is what we want to build, is too luxurious. Let me see if I can read. Let me just, I'm just gonna go. And let's go for how to scale this. And why how to scale? There's this mindset of business, and we just don't want to stay comfortable in one place. How to scale? We just want to understand that the economy is relationships. It's not about money, and this is how we can scale. We can connect with people around the world. This is a network of power, but we don't want the network of power that exists. What's missing in the world right now is a network with power. It's us, peer-to-peer communities, peer-to-peer people, creating not only relationships, but exchanging goods and services. There's economy that we have create our own coin. We're part of this social coin in Ecuador. 180 people exchanging. This is 155, says that we're already 180. There's also a seeds coin, which we related to our friends that they also started seeds. We started the seeds retreat. They have the seeds coin. It's awesome. They're also talking about regenerative culture. We're creating this together. And we're also already connected to different networks that are amazing. And these networks are hosts of many regenerative projects around the world. We're talking about hundreds, even thousands of eco-villages and projects around the world. The Freedom Cells is also there. This is already too much. And I'm going to go back to our website. So with this invitation, today we are launching this website, the regenerativeculture.life website. Thank you very much. It's been a lot of work for us. This website is a platform for people to learn about regenerative culture. We're going to be posting articles, books, documentaries, events and retreats, everything related to regenerative culture. I know there's other platforms as well. However, this is specifically to regenerative culture and specifically to the principles that we have. If you came to our workshop yesterday, I gifted the principles for you to use if you want to start your community and practice it in your own life. And you can also tweak it around for your own benefit and for what you have been learning about. If you want the principles, please subscribe to our email on the website, regenerativeculture.life, and I'll send you the principles. And further down here, I want to share a little bit more about regenerative culture. But most importantly, I want to show you this video that we put together. Please play the video if you have, or I just play it from here. Play from here? All right, cool. Let's give it a minute. There's some sound, right? We got sound. Can we get some sound on the video? I know Derek had this video ready for us. Okay. So regenerative culture is any culture can be regenerative. Have you ever imagined a new humanity, a new world, a new reality? As we imagine, we create. Imagine living with nature. Imagine deep relationships. Imagine health and abundance. Imagine yourself being. Are you connected to all life? Are you cosmic connected? Are you connected to yourself? And if so, have you asked, why do we exist? Ask the questions that you need to improve yourself, find your potential, and believe in these self. Selfishness is gone, egocentric decisions go wrong. With holistic systems approach, even roaches are loved. Understanding your intuition is a mission to learn to decide. With the right mind, bodies, and souls, goals can be accomplished with ease, and life will evolve with love. Without fear, tears of happiness comes with years of working this self with help. We become peers, a spiritual movement of beings enlightened. When connected to the essence of life, we thrive, despite the mind that doesn't want to be kind. We stand up and look around, we ground to Mother Nature. We nurture profound like fathers and mothers, while others bother the system, but rather manage to create a world of love without hate. Hey mate, gatekeeper of consciousness who wants a new reality, vitality, away from more brutality, insanity, vanity. Let's transcend duality and live together in harmony. Look at the bright side, because we are the light. By knowing what's wrong and what's right, we might become tight to gain sight for a new world and a new life. We could create a new reality. We could create a new reality, yeah. We could create a new reality. We could create a new reality, yeah. We could create a new reality for future generations by regenerating the self, regenerating relationships, regenerating culture, regenerating life. Coming soon, a regenerative culture documentary, Seeds, Transcendence. Oh, noise, please. Thank you very much. So that was a little bit of awareness about how our retreats are like. We incorporate ancient wisdom in modern times. We have different workshops and ceremonies, but most importantly is community engagement, community aspects, practicing the principles and allowing us to understand what is possible, a little taste of what is possible. So you can either go to other retreats, you can join other eco-villages and live those experiences, and you can come to ours. We're having one right after the conference to complement this conference here in Tepoztlán, which is 4 hours away. We already have a bus lined up, and we are going to have a beautiful 5-day experience, joining the forces and the wisdom of the ancestry of the Amazon jungle of Ecuador, and here the Tolteca culture of Mexico. And then we have our sacred sexuality immersion. This is going to be in April. Of course, back to the origin, that's going to be in August. And they're all our Seeds retreats. The biggest retreat we ever had is a 21-day one, and that was intense. That was a live 21 days with people you really know. It's a, yeah. And then we also have programs for detox, because we can't start big project like that with other people if we don't take care of ourselves and be in our purest health possible. So that's what our Seeds events and retreats are all about, is regenerative habits. So we have a lot of healthy habits that we have put together in order to help accelerate this process. And mainly our vision is to help create this sanctuary, eco-village we're creating is a regenerative sanctuary. And what's a sanctuary is honoring the lands, honoring the sanctuary. Most importantly, is a whole healing regenerative space. I don't know if you heard about in Florida, it's one's called the Hippocrates Institute. Have you heard about that? It's a beautiful place. People can stay there and regenerate and eat the healthiest food. They produce their food right there. So we've been inspired by them. So most important, like we mentioned, we activate communities. We've been doing this for a while. I remember since I was a kid, I was doing that. And further down here, you can also have testimonies you can check out on your own time. We have a few dozens of testimonies of people really going through these amazing experiences. And down here, we have 3 options of how you can be involved. Like I said, there's so many projects out there you can be involved. Is which one you resonate the most. So us, with our principles, if you resonate them, come check us out, come check out our retreat. And also there's different forms of involvement. One is a regenerative steward, which you can have a donate. We can receive your donation, and in exchange of your donation, you can come to all our retreats and programs and courses all for free. So according to the amount of donation you want to share, we can hop on a call and we can just provide you with an exchange. We don't want to call it like, hey, I want to sell you something or buy something. No, let's do a donation exchange. So in that sense, we also have another option. Be part of our eco village. You can buy a piece of land with us and you live with our principles, and you can make money off of your own land, as well as whenever you're ready, you can sell it and go to another eco village, whatever you like. And you can also be stewards of the land with us and benefit from the restaurant that we have, the lodging, the wellness center, the events and retreats. You can benefit and be part of that as well. Then we also have the coherent investor. If you can't or not interested to live with us for part-time or full-time, you can be an investor outside. And because we're going to be expanding this as 3 sanctuaries in Ecuador, creating a trinity basically. And with that said, yeah, those are the options. You can go down here on the website and book a call with us, and we can, move forward from there. Anything else, you can contact us. We have so much information about regenerative culture. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Any questions, let me know. Make some noise. Come on. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One question?
5 minutes of question.
5 minutes? Two questions? The website is regenerativeculture.live. Please check us out. Please subscribe with your email. We're also going to be here a few more days, and we can talk. If you want to learn about the retreat we have in Tepoztlán, it's a 5-day experience. It's pretty radical if you're ready for it.
Any other questions up there? All right. Make some noise for Yoshi and Paula.
Yeah, thank you, hermano.
Appreciate your dropping so much wisdom and embodying it. I was hoping, especially for the people at home, how can you distinguish maybe what we might think of as degenerative, or like you said, merely a sustainable relationship, except as accepting something with passion? You wake up enthralled to be there and to be fully present every day. Any summary glimpse tips for what for people at home who can't wait or can't necessarily make it to some of these places to turn their own maybe neighborhoods into a more regenerative state, in addition to applying those principles? Anything in just a nutshell to set or make that distinction for the folks at home?
Thank you for the question, hermano. I appreciate that. It's a very important question, especially for the youth. It's important to be in the energy of gratefulness and acceptance that everything that is for a really good reason. One of our missions in life is to find out what is that mission. Why is things that are occurring in this existence? So most of humanity have been destructive, and it's okay. Thank you. Because of that, we are learning now in this time. And when we process these things, we get mad, we get sad, and maybe we're become depressed for a long time and have this energy of being alone. And I've gone through that. We've gone through that. And at the same time, what can we do? How can we move forward? Is continuing with the effort of getting to know the self, continuing with the effort of getting to know the connection to the land. And with those interconnections, interrelationship, you can connect to spirit. And when you have that connection with spirit, which with that, what does that mean? It's a frequency, it's a vibration, it's a communication. So the more we start doing that, everything starts synchronizing in our minds. And how to make this happen? Let's not get distracted by all the things that are taking away from us to get to know ourselves, taking away from us to get to know ourselves. So let us put the phones and everything aside, and let's focus on the breath. Let's focus on reading and writing. Writing is very important, the journal. And then we start connecting to the rest of that action. And yeah, plant to plant, have a cilantro plant, have a basil plant.
Sí, una forma también así ya muy rápida de vivir una vida regenerativa es enfocarse, focusing in yourself, in your morning ritual especially, because it's the first energy in the morning. And with focus in your morning ritual, it's possible more best decision in other hours. And other action very fast is the zero waste lifestyle. No using and no accept waste in your life. It's the more power action of regenerative culture. And other action is connect with the communities, with communities in your local country, in your country, and create together plans for take action for cultivate the earth. Yeah, thank you.
Make some noise for Yoshi and Paula,
thank you.
everybody. We appreciate them so much. Go for it. They bring so much to it. Have you guys enjoyed day 2, Permaculture and Food Independence? You guys feel like you learned something throughout today? I hope so. And please do connect with all of our speakers. We have one last session for today. Does anybody feel like they would like a little bit of networking time specifically around permaculture? You've heard a lot of ideas today. That's what we're going to do for this last 35 minutes or so is, like we did yesterday, we're going to break off into groups for those who want to participate. And I want to remind you guys before everybody starts to leave the room, we have 2 networking sessions. This next one here is only going to be 45 minutes, 35 minutes, and it's specifically about permaculture. Then at 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. in this room, we're going to have specifically eco-village networking, which is going to be for those who came here looking for a community, looking to join a community, to, if you have land already, if you've got resources and you're trying to network and find your people. Who came here to find your tribe, your community, your eco-village? Okay, that's a lot of hands in here. So you're going to want to come back from 6 to 8 p.m. I also want to remind you we have 2 events outside of here tonight. Our sponsor, one of our sponsors, Logos, is doing a meetup from 7 to 10 at a club right down the street, Mangu, Club Mangu. Very cool spot. And then Bruce, raise your hand, Bruce. He is doing a big show later on tonight. What time are we getting started, Bruce? 8:30 to 1. So with the night owls, for those who are ready to stay out, Bruce is your man to come connect with. But first up, we're gonna do a short networking session around permaculture. So what I'd like to do, just like yesterday, we sort of broke off into groups for those who want to participate. Raise your hand if permaculture, gardening, dealing with food is completely new to you. Like this has all been an introduction. Wow, there's only literally 1 hand up so far. 2, 3, right? Okay, so let's get that group. If you guys want to come over to this area, you're brand new, and it's okay if you've got a little experience, but you feel like you're still just learning it. I want you guys to come over to this side of the room. We're just going to break off into smaller groups, and we're going to give you a couple of prompts, and then I'm going to shut up and get out of the way and let you guys get to know each other and have fun. So if permaculture, sustainability, ecology, etc. is new to you, please come over to this side of the room here. Who feels like they're more of an expert or experienced when it comes to permaculture, things like that? Okay, let's get you guys over here by this gentleman doing the live painting. Have you guys seen this live painting, by the way, back there? He's been working hard over there. Check him out. Go over there with Jack if you are an expert or you feel like you're more of an expert than a beginner when it comes to permaculture. And for those who just want to chat, please quietly exit the room so we can have our networking session. And also, we're going to say goodbye to the live audience. Ramiro, let's go ahead and say goodbye to the live stream. Everybody at home, we appreciate you so much. Thank you guys for being here with us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Live audience. Thank you guys. All right. We got a group forming there.